Faith can move mountains. Radio Maria, 91.3 FM.
The voice of truth.
Hi, my beautiful listener. Oh, so good to be here once again. We thank God for life, for giving us the breath of life. Well, today is another beautiful day for Life Essential Talk on Radio Maria 91.3 FM, a talk show where we engage in things that have to do with marriage, parenting, fundamental life issues, family values. Well, on Monday we had a very interesting topic, which was falling out of love in marriage. We had so many contributions, wonderful contributions. People were able to share their experiences with us. I hope you got something significant from all that. I hope you got something major from all that. Well, I remain your host, Uche Chukwuma, and today won't be an exception. Or should I say, yes, it will be an exception. I have a more interesting topic, if I should say that. Well, today's topic is listening actively to your children. Yes, I know some people might say, I listen to my child now. What is there to talk about? Let me tell you, there's a big difference to listen and to listen actively. Well, in a short while, you get to know everything about listening actively to your children. Let's enjoy this music, but don't go anywhere. Wow, beautiful song there. Welcome back to Life Essential Talk Show on Radio Maria, the voice of truth. Well, today's topic is active listening, listening actively to your children. Well, like I said earlier, people might say, some parents might say, some guidance might say, some caregivers might say, what is there in listening? What is there to talk about? Oh, we have so much to talk about when it comes to listening. Like I said, not just to listen, but to listen actively. Now, listening is a difficult thing, true. How many times have you really listened to someone? I mean, when someone is talking to you, how many times have you really, really listened, heard every word that he or she uttered? It can be very daunting. It can be very difficult. It can be very difficult for some people. Some people don't really listen. You know that some people don't listen. Some people, they will just pick whatever they want to pick from what you're saying and move on. Only a very few really, really listen. And there are ways to know that someone is actually listening to you. Well, let me not go too far for now. Listening to your children is what we're here to talk about. And it's very important. It's very important. We all need to listen to these children. If you don't listen to them, who will they talk to? Who will listen to them? If you don't make out time to really listen to your children, who will they talk to? Who will listen to them? You know, like I said, it can be difficult. And why can it be difficult? Because you have so many things running in your head. You have so many things to handle. And you just see your child coming to you and say, mommy or daddy, I see this, see that. At times you want to push that child away, or you even push the child away, which is very wrong. So listening actively to your children is important, is very important. Now, research has shown that when you listen to your child tends to listen to you. When you listen actively to your child, that child tends to listen actively to you. Now let's look at it this way. Let's look at this from this angle. Let me take it that way. If you listen to your child will talk to you and you listen. Then when you talk to your child, the way you listen to that child, that is how the child will listen to you when you talk to him or her. I've always said this here. Children, they do more of what you do. They do more of what you say what they see rather than what you tell them. They copy everything, especially from you, the parent, the father, the mother. They look up to you. The first time they came into this world, I'm sure maybe it was the mother's face or whatever, but they look up to you. They see you as role models. So you really need to listen to them so that they can also listen to you. There's nothing like, oh, I am the parent, you are the child. You are supposed to listen to me. If I want to listen to you, I will listen. If I don't want to listen to you, I won't listen. No, it doesn't go that way. Because for them to listen to you, they will learn how to listen. And that learning will be from you. So if you don't really listen to them, they won't listen to you. I am telling you, this is fact. Well, let's now go to what active listening, what it really does. Is a very good way of improving communication with your child. When your child knows that you're interested in what he or she is saying, you see the child very excited. You see the child say a whole lot of things. Even things that normally he or she might not say. Or because he knows, she knows that you are actually listening, that child will talk, will chat and say everything, tell you everything. So active listening, not just listening, active listening really improves communication. It brings you and your child together. It improves your relationship with your child. There will be that bond between you and your child. And that is what every parent should look at for. You didn't bring out these children just to push them away. You brought them out to bring them closer. All right, so let's look at the ways. Let's look at how you can listen actively to your child. Now, the first one is this. Give your child full attention. If you're doing anything and your child comes to you, your toddler comes to you, your primary schooler comes to you, your teenager comes to you, your adult child comes to you, put that thing away and listen. It depends on what the child wants to tell you. From whatever he or she says at that instant, you know whether to continue and talk with your child later or to handle that problem there and then, or to listen there and then. But not when the child comes to you already push. Can't you see I'm doing something? What is that thing you're doing? Tell me, what is that thing you are doing? You won't even allow the child to say, you're already pushing the child away. You have already pushed the child away. Can't you see I'm very busy? Very busy with what, really? But you don't know what the problem could be. You don't know what the problem might be. And maybe this is a matter of urgency. If this child doesn't come to you, where will he or she go to? Answer this question. Where will that child go to? Who will that child talk to? Can't you see I'm very busy? And when you push your child away, let me tell you, that child will not come to you again. Because your reaction, whenever he or she remembers that, don't you see I'm very busy, the child will not come to you. For that child to come to you when you're busy means there is really something. It could be your toddler, not minding whether you're busy or not. Like I said, first of all, listen to know if you should listen, keep away whatever you're doing, or handle it later. But firstly, listen. Look into your child's eyes. Look into his or her eyes. You know, sometimes when you're talking to someone and the eyes are darting from one side to another, you know that that person is not listening to you. From the eyes, you really know if someone is listening to you or not. And these children can be very observant. Very, very observant. As they are talking to you, they are looking at you. I'm sure you must have heard things like, "Mommy, you're not listening to me." Though you're looking at the child. It has happened to me. There was a day my child was talking to me and my mind was somewhere else. The girl knew. She said, "Mommy, you're not listening, no." Hey, I now came back. And I was really looking at her. I was looking, staring at her, trying to pretend, but my mind went out. So when you really, really want to listen to your child, look into that child's eyes. It will help the child to understand that, oh, Mommy is really interested in what I want to say or what I am saying. Daddy is really interested in what I am saying. And it can be very exciting for them. They love it so much when you give them that full attention. Who doesn't like attention? Let me ask this. Every woman out there, even the oldest woman, likes attention. What about the men? Every man wants attention, likes attention, not to talk of children. So give them that full attention. Look into their eyes when they're talking to you. I know it takes a lot of discipline. One has to be disciplined to really listen actively. Well, you have to do it. You have to do it. It's not easy to be a parent, to be a guardian, to be a caretaker, to be whoever to children. You just have to be disciplined. Then another one is, you can repeat back what your child is saying to you, just for your child to know that you're really listening. You know, when you're talking to someone and you don't say anything, or should I say, I'm sure you must have heard your child say, "Mommy, are you sure you're listening?" Because you're not saying anything. And I'm sure when you're not saying anything, your mind has gone out. It's somewhere. Maybe it's in the office working on that paper. Or maybe it's in the market buying watermelon. Or maybe it's somewhere, just somewhere. So sometimes you help your child to understand by repeating what he or she said. When I say repeat, like for instance, someone says, your child tells, "Oh, Shegun beat me." You say, "Oh, really? Shegun beat you?" You see your child, you say, "Yes, Mommy, Shegun beat me." And now continue. You know, when you say things like that, it helps the child to really, really understand that you are actually listening to him or her. We have a whole lot of work to do, but you have to do it. You just have to do it. Like, I'm just talking about how you can listen actively to your child. Give your child full attention, look into your child's eyes, and repeat what he or she is saying. Then empathize with your child. Put yourself in your child's position. Like if your child tells you that somebody beat her, oh, you say, "Really?" You now try to understand. Oh, empathize. Put yourself in your child's shoes. Really try to understand why she's telling you whatever. Feel it. Feel it. And honestly, that child will not stop telling you things. I've heard parents say, "Oh, my child doesn't talk to me." Have you checked yourself? Have you really, really checked yourself? Did you lay a solid foundation as regards to listening? Did you take it for granted? Did you push your child away whenever he comes to you to say something to you? You have to think inward. You have to check. What did I do to my child? Check. And all you have to do is to make amends. Try to listen. But if your child becomes an adult and you didn't set it right before he or she became an adult, it might be very, very difficult. It might be very difficult. So empathize with your child. Put yourself in your child's position whenever your child tries to talk to you. Now, another thing is this. When your child comes to you to tell you things, do not criticize or judge or yell, explode, full of emotions. That it pushes these children away. All these can really push these children away. Now, see something. When your child is talking to you, that child is carefully observing your face, trying to see the emotions running around on your face. Children can be very observant. Most of them can be very observant. They can be sensitive. So it takes discipline. When your child is talking to you, do not yell. Allow the child to say everything. Allow the child to talk. Even when you feel like slapping her, you feel like hitting him, hold yourself. Keep your face straight. Allow the child to land. Allow the child to land. Do not yell. Even after talking, you can just take a minute. Breathe in, breathe out before you answer. It will give you time to think of the best approach. But when you react immediately, you might get it wrong. And that child will not come to you again. They have that trust. If a child comes to you with that trust, please don't step on that trust. Don't destroy that trust. Hold your emotions. Keep them intact and listen. Do not explode. Hey, this stupid boy has killed me. Oh. As the boy was talking, sometimes you hear, no, mommy, I won't talk again. No, talk. You must talk. You must talk. Tell me what happened. How would the boy talk? How would the girl talk? Tell me. Already you have reacted negatively, shouting, screaming. I know this boy. I know you will kill me. I know this girl. I know you will bring shame to me. Or why didn't you do this? Why are you telling me this? Don't you know it's annoying? Why are you telling me this rubbish? Tell me, how would that child come back to you to talk? Have you now listened? You have not listened. You have not. You just allowed your emotions to go haywire. You have not listened. Oh God, it's not easy anyway. It's not easy. It takes discipline. Well, we'll talk more about this when we return after this short break. Don't go anywhere. Oh, my beautiful listeners, welcome back to Life Essential Talk on Radio Maria, the voice of truth. Well, if you're just tuning in, we are actually talking about active listening actively to your children. Well, I'm on how you can listen actively to your child. Well, I've listed some of them. I'm still on another one, which is yelling, exploding, shouting at your child, saying all sorts of things while listening to your child. Or even using what he just said or what she just said to talk to her. As the child is talking, you won't even allow her to land. You start saying all sorts of things. Oh, you're very stupid. Hey, that was how the last time you did this. Tell me, how will the child come back to you again? And tomorrow you start complaining that, oh, my children don't talk to me. Oh, my child doesn't talk to me. The child won't talk to you. The child won't go back to you to say anything any longer. Because that reaction really will chase away that child. I know it's very difficult. Like I said, it can be difficult, yes. And it can be tempting to brush your child off, to push your child away when your child comes with his or her problems, or maybe your child just wants to chat. And when you have a bad day, It can even be worse. If the day didn't go well for you, maybe your boss annoyed you at work, or you got agitated while coming home, or something happened, and that child comes with to say something, what do you think you would do? Most parents, most guardians, most caregivers will push the child away. Very few people will be able to say, no, my child is not the cause of my problem. Let me listen to him or her. A bad day at work, a bad day anywhere should not make you to push that child that wants to talk to you. That child can even help to make your day better with his chit-chat, with her chit-chat, with whatever. So it takes a whole lot. It takes discipline. Truly it does. But you have to be disciplined when it comes to your children. You have to do everything to get it right. Like I always say, do your best. I leave the rest for God. You can't complain when you have not done anything. Because one day you'll be asked, how did you take care of that precious gift that I gave to you? What did you do with that gift? Why did you allow this to happen? Well, let me not go spiritual. Let's get back to our business. All right, so let's look at the negative effects of not listening to your children or not listening to your child. You know, when you talk, from your tone of your voice, your child will know, or your facial expression rather, will help your child to really know if he or she should talk to you. And when your facial expression is not welcoming, that child will run away. Or when your tone of voice is not welcoming, that child will run away. And remember, children who are not heard become the ones that don't listen. Sometimes you hear yourself saying, this girl, you don't listen. This boy, you don't listen. These children, you don't listen. How can they listen when they are not heard? How can they listen when your facial expression is always like, keep off, keep away from me? How can they listen? How can they talk when your voice is always keep off tone? How can they talk to you when you're not approachable? And when they're not heard, they won't listen. And when they don't listen, a lot of things go wrong. So you actually need to learn how to listen actively to your children. Like I said, it's very important. Now we talk about confidence. We talk about low self-esteem. When they're not heard, how can they be confident to handle this world? When they have a lot of things to say, and the people that need to really hear them out don't listen to them, how will they be able to maneuver this world? How will they be able to stand on their feet, to be eagles, to move on their own without getting attached? How can they have that high self-esteem to talk boldly when they have to talk respectfully when they have to? How can they do all this if they're not heard? How can they move on if they're not heard? You're busy with your work. You're busy with whatever, and you're losing your child. And your child is your future. Your child is your everything. That child out there is everything. And when the child comes to you to have that chit chat with you, to talk to you, to find solutions to his or her problems, to talk a lot about a lot of things, to ask questions, they are not heard. How can they move on? No confidence, no high self-esteem. Everything is low, low, low. Low in everything. And you know that children can be naturally expressive. They can talk about everything. Some need that encouragement, though, to talk. Some don't. But if they're not heard, they won't talk. So you have to learn how to listen. Not just okay. No. Listen. And if you don't listen to your child can get attached to an outsider. Someone that won't give that child good advice. Someone that will tell that child all sorts of horrible things. Or we lead that child on the wrong path. Since you won't listen now, the child needs to express him or herself. So she looks for who will listen to him, to who will listen to her. And that could be that could lead to a whole lot of problems. That could be worrisome. That could be a major problem for any child. For any child. All right, I think it's time to open the phone line. You can call us on 081 084 47518. Call us on 081 084 47518. You can send SMS or you can send your message via WhatsApp. All right, so when you listen to your child, you have to be patient. You have to bring yourself down to your child's level. Listen and listen well. Hello? Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Okay, this is Dr. George calling from Suleja.
Okay, Dr. George from Suleja. Good to have you on the show.
I just want to commend this program.
Okay.
In fact, I was driving as we were talking and I was just learning. Thank you very much for helping the society.
Yeah, thank you.
If we get the family right, we get the society right. But people don't know this.
Sure.
When we graduated from school, they said you're found worthy in character and learning. School don't offer us character as it's supposed to be.
True.
And the character build-up starts from home. If we can liberate the society of moral decadence and the like from home.
Yes.
The school will do just little.
True.
And the world will be a better place for us. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, that's nice to hear, Dr. George from Suleja. All right. So, like I was saying, you have to learn how to listen actively to your child. That is a major thing that you should learn to do. And you can always go out with your children just to talk. You can always go out with your child just to talk. You can go out with them just to chat. And when you're with them in a very relaxed atmosphere, I'm sure you will listen. You too will relax and really, really listen. You can take time out. Go out with your children. Allow them to talk while you listen. And when you do listen, there's nothing that you won't hear, especially when you get those things they like. These children will tell you everything. This child will tell you everything. And when you hear such things, it will help you to know your child better. You know, as your children grow, their behaviors, tend to change. because they meet so many people out there, people of different characters, people of different orientations. So they will really have some other things in them added to what you have already put in them. So for you to also listen, you can take them out. Time out. Relax yourself. Relax and really listen. When I say look into their eyes, give them full attention. You can't do all those things when you're tired. You can't give them that full attention. Look into their eyes, listen when you're tired. Honestly, you won't be able to do that. Or when you're so stressed up. But when you relax, it will also help you to be able to listen to them. Set aside some quality time. Set aside some quality time with your kids. That work you're doing, whatever you're doing, it's for them. You're trying to set the home right. And if you're doing all those things and you don't get a grip on your children, you're losing everything. If you work, and you don't try to listen to your child, to know what goes on in your child's life, what will I say? You have lost it. When you leave this world, what happens? The children you left will not bless you. You will not get any blessing from them because you didn't do what you are supposed to do. So for you to listen, you need to set aside some quality time. And always put yourself in their shoes. Always put yourself in their shoes. Try to understand, okay, what if I'm the child and I want to talk to my mother, I want to talk to my father, and he or she, they don't give me any attention? How will I feel? So it will also help you to understand how to handle them. Put yourself in their shoes. Your child will come to you, oh, mommy, oh, daddy, and you're nowhere to be found. You're there, but you're still nowhere to be found. Tell me, what do you think will happen to that child? Okay, let me still remind our listeners of the number to call, 081 084 47518. You can send SMS or you send your message via WhatsApp, 081 084 47518. And again, you make whatever, when your child talks to you and you listen, try as much as possible to make your conversation with that child very interesting. Inspire your child. Listen. Let the conversation be very inspiring. When your child talks to you, you listen. When you talk, make the conversation very inspiring for that child. Help the child to understand that no matter what, you'll always be there for him or her. It helps children it gives them confidence. It helps them to be strong. It helps them to grow knowing that they are beloved. Their parents will always be there for them. So you have a whole lot to do. All right, let's take this call now. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Mercy. I'm calling from Nigeria-Abuja.
Okay, Mercy from Luwe. Let's hear you.
Okay. It's a very interesting show, and from the preview for this evening,
Okay.
I strongly feel parents should have and make out quality time for their children. It's of
Yes.
great importance.
Yes.
Many parents tend to leave their children to the care of their teachers, the care of the Sunday school children, to the care of the Islamia teachers who teach them in their various sorts of institutions of learning, which is quite wrong. Lots of parents don't even have time for their children.
At all.
And to be sincere, it now brings a lot of negative vibes into the society.
True.
So, for example, a lot of parents tend to complain about the bad influence other children have on their children. If parents can take authority and responsibility by creating extra time, a little bit, I know that it's not really easy. Society is really going haywire. Bills up and down. Parents are struggling to put food on the table and all that. Because of that, they will not really want to have that time. They will leave their children to the mercy of their mates and all that. But if parents can make out quality time for that, it will help to cover the issues and the chaos that happens in society. Even in the classroom. A lot of negative vibes come from school children, even in the classroom.
Exactly.
Imagine a child being so harsh, negative words on another child. If the parents can have time for their children, such will go to a maximum level to reduce.
True.
So I really feel, and also I strongly feel for parents to make out time for their children, they can do so in the place of prayer. I don't know, for parents who strongly believe that they really want to, but they don't have that time, they can take it up in the place of prayer, and God will begin to make a lot of things that for
to
them,
make
for their
way.
eyes to see.
Yes.
Because if you leave your children at the mercy of the fact that they can do this, they can do that, I feel they're getting independent at some level. There will be very serious error in parenting. Parenting is not really quite easy.
It's not easy.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mercy, for that wonderful contribution. Thank you. I greatly appreciate that. Now, what she said is really true, and that is what I also said here. You tend to have time for your work. You tend to have time for your business. You tend to have time for whatever it is, whatever activity you are into. But you don't have time for your child. You don't have time to listen to that child. You don't have time to know your child better. You don't have time to talk with your child. And I ask, what do you think you are doing? What do you really think you are doing, really? Have you ever sat down to really think about this? If I get everything and I lose my children, what have I gained? If I do everything and lose these children under me, what have I gained? That money that you're making, that you leave one day for them, they will misuse it. Because when you listen to your child, you'll be able to guide that child. You'll be able to direct that child. You'll be able to pilot that child's activities. You'll be able to know what goes on in that child's life. You'll be able to handle that child in the right way. Lead the child in the right direction. But the child will come to you, you push the child away because you're so busy. You're so busy with that business. You're so busy with that work. Okay, let's take this call. Hello. Hello. Good evening. Okay. Okay.
I'm still calling.
All right.
There's something I actually forgot to say, and I really want to say it.
Okay.
Shouting is not a perfect mode of parenting.
Yes.
Most parents shout on their children. It chases them away.
Mm-hmm.
So they will never want to confide in their parents because they believe if I tell daddy or if I tell mommy, he will shout.
Mommy will shout, exactly.
But no longer in that century whereby shouting is a mode for discipline, not correction. It doesn't work again. Look at what happened to that child. The child in Lagos who died. A severe stuff. We also read knowing serious facts from that the child was trying to say, Mommy, please change my school. I don't want to go back there again. Mommy, please change my school. There was every big possibility that if they had taken their time to listen and say, why is it insisting that we must change the school? Okay, let's go there. Okay, let the guardian follow him. He would have copped that case. But look at where we are today. Everyone is crying for severe stuff. To be sincere, shouting is not the right mode of parenting.
It's not.
If parents can try their possible best to listen to their children without shouting, there will be hidden things that they'll begin to know about.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again, Mercy, for that contribution. Well, so she's so passionate about the whole thing. Well, just like I said initially, shouting, yes, is not a way, is not a good way to handle your child. It's not a good form of parenting. Yelling is not a good form of parenting. When you shout at your child, a child that is trying to talk to you, the child will just block off. As you're talking, the child wants to talk to you and you have started shouting and yelling, the child will regret coming to you. The child will not go to you again for anything, especially talking. Because that idea of that shout will always ring in his or her head. Oh, if I go to mommy now, if I go to daddy now, he'll start shouting. She'll start shouting. The child will not come to you. The child will not even try it. So there are certain things, just like she said, it's no more, maybe then, when you shout, the person will start, but not now. Not now. I can't remember all my mother or my father said, shout, why shouting? I don't think I can remember any of them. And that is what happens today. Listen actively to your children. The shouting, the yelling, the explosion of emotions should not come in. They shouldn't be part of anything. There are other ways of handling these children than shouting, yelling, and abusing and talking back and everything. That child will run and run and run and run away. So, like I said, you need to keep a grip on your children. You need to hold on to them. When you get everything, you have that so much money and your children are nowhere to be found, what do you think you're doing? Like I said, you're not doing anything. You have not achieved anything. So try as much as possible to listen actively to your child. Don't say, what is there? There is something there. Don't say, it's not important. It's very important. Don't say a letter. That letter might not come. It might be too late. It might be too late. Now let's take this musical break, and when we return, we continue with this very exciting topic. Hi, lovely people. Welcome back to Life Essential Talk on Radio Maria, the voice of truth. Well, I am on this topic, active listening to your child, listening actively to your child. And the number to call is 081-084-47518. 081-084-47518. You can send SMS or you send your message via WhatsApp. Let's hear you. Let's hear your experience. Let's hear your contribution. Let's have your question. Well, when it comes to active listening, you can ask, why is it very important to listen to your child? I've been saying them, but I also want to remind you that it can strengthen your bond with your child. It can strengthen that bond with your child. The child will be very close to you. That child will be very close to you. I can use myself to give an example. My first daughter, she doesn't tell me anything, no. It's always her daddy. She's always talking to her dad. Maybe I made a mistake along the line. Maybe she tried talking to me and I was never there to listen. Who knows? But her daddy, her daddy will now be the one to tell me, see what your daughter said. And sometimes I'll just, try to talk to her. Just like I said, if you don't get the foundation right at the initial time, it could be a problem. Well, I don't know if it's daughter-father bond or, that they always say first daughters and fathers are always very close. I don't know. But sometimes I feel a little jealous. But that's by the way. At least she's talking to someone. So like I said, it can strengthen the bond, that father-child, mother-child relationship. It can make that bond to be stronger to be very strong. And you know what that means. Nobody can mess with your child without you knowing. It can help the child academically. You say how? If your child doesn't understand certain things at school, the child can always come to you and ask, Daddy, Mommy, please, what is this? Okay, let's take this call. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, my name is Edwin. I'm calling from Mapo, Abuja.
Okay, good to have you on the show.
Yes. I just opened my radio now and I listened to this edition.
Okay.
Yes, it's very, very important. Highly important.
Yes.
Because I could remember when I was a child, anytime that my mom wants to talk to me, no matter how I misbehave in the daytime, she will never talk to me in the daytime. I'm a man.
Okay.
But she will come, even if maybe I went out and came back around midnight, around 12 or around 1, went to factory even, she must call me. She must come to my room and call me and say, this is what I discovered in you. This is the report I got from other people outside. It will be harder for her to shout at me. And that is how I'm being brought up. So if, like now, if I'm working for you, I mean, if I'm working for you, or if we are having any conversation, if you eventually ask insult, I will never listen to you again. If you're eventually trying to say, even we can fight, I will never listen to you again. I'm not even meant to start giving you headache. But once you talk to me in a polite way,
you will listen.
Like, let me even
you will listen
because of you. I get me.
Yes.
So it make me pick up slowly.
You
then
see?
my child also, that is how I'm trying to raise her. With my wife, just like the example you just have between you and your daughter. It's happening because most time I do tell my wife, please don't shout at her. You encourage, ask her what is the problem. If you want to explain herself, just ask her, listen to her so that she'll explain well for you and then you understand her. Not by shouting, hey, what is this? What is this?
Just listen.
Because of that. You understand? It's not good. It's not
by shouting.
It's not by shouting. Encourage the person, even if the person has done something wrong. Hey, why did when they explain better, I give the reason. Even if the reason is not genuine, in the genuine part so that
exactly.
The person will not do
exactly.
It again.
Yes.
It will be more better if we are doing it because tomorrow we keep on shouting and the person used to that shouting when he's grown up. Without that shouting, the person cannot do anything. And the person who used him is not only shouting.
True.
Like I have a stepmother. Anytime when one of our daughters, she used to beat this girl. And she beat her so much. Use ordinary hand. You see the mark of her hand in the girl's body. Now, getting to a point, even she could not even control her again. Because anytime she comes back, she's saying, not to beat me. If she does anything wrong, she says, not to beat me.
True.
Once she beats me, finish. But not, I continue. I die, finish. You know, but if she started with encouragement, all those things wouldn't have happened like that. People have developed that mindset of if you do it, you do it. If you don't do it, leave it. You understand?
Yes.
So it's more better if we do encourage our children.
Thank you so much, Edwin. Thank you for that contribution. All right, you heard him. You see how the mother talked to him, how it encouraged him to listen. And I'm sure that is how he will also talk to his own children, because that is how he learned listening. That is what he saw in his mother. That is what he got from his mother. The mother will call him, sit him down and talk to him and encourage him to listen. That is exactly what he will transfer to his own child. And that is how it's supposed to be. Let it move on like that. Let it move on like that. Gradually, we get the best out of these children. Okay, let's quickly take this call. Hello.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. What's your name?
My name is Victor.
Okay.
I'm calling from Katampe.
Okay, Victor from Katampe. All right. Nice to have you here.
And listen to the program.
Okay.
My opinion is that there's no one method is not enough. You have to balance it too.
All right.
Because peer pressure, if a child doesn't come to realize the immediate and short, medium-term consequences for misbehavior, peer pressure, the person might be led astray. Because eventually, every time he or she leaves the house, she encounters friends, and they always, if there's friends in a neighborhood that has that tendency to lead the children astray, I bet your parents, they don't complain now, they will just talk to you. So we can do it now. But sometimes the fear of that, the fear of the consequences can even cause the child to order. Every child seems to be peculiar in his own way. You will talk, you can talk, you will listen. But when they step out and it seems that there's no consequence and the peer pressure about they will do it after all, there's no consequences, they will talk. So you have to balance it too. Sometimes you have to apply the stick very well. So that if you want to do so, you will remain after it's in the Bible. So but it's to balance it in a way. Sometimes
okay, balance it by flogging. Is that what you want to say?
You flog and you talk. So that the flogging shows immediate consequences. Yes, if you talk short, you get punished. So you can after flog, shout, you can sit down with the child and say, do you know why I did this? It's because of this, it's because of this. Next time at least, before the child wants to step out or when the friend wants to lead the child, say, they will think twice. That's why.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thank you for that contribution. Well, you said we should flog, we should talk and flog, balance the two. All right, but you know what? You can still flog, and they will say, after all, is it not flogging? If I do this, they'll flog. But sometimes you just need to talk to the conscience of that child. Honestly, yes, the child might derail because of peer pressure. But most times, this child, even with the pressure outside, because of how you have talked to this child, the child might be able to handle it well. Because if you talk and flog, yes, it can, but what if you flog and wound that child? What if you flog and you put scars on that child? Will that help? You know, some people say, oh, flogging is good. Some say, no, don't flog. Well, that's a topic for another day. But this, the last caller said, we should balance the two. Talk and flog. Please, when you flog, don't flog, go and wound that child. Don't flog and break that stick on that child. Just be very, very careful. All right, dear listeners, we have come, or will I say we have come to the end of this program. It's time. Oh, I hope you got something significant from this exciting topic. Well, it's time to go, and I would have loved to talk more and more about this, a very important topic. But anyway, we'll talk again next week. Next week, Monday and Wednesday. Keep that dial on for me by 6:30 p.m. See you next time. I remain your host, Uche Chukwuma.